To his friend Julius Valerianus, early 105. You asked me, and I promise, if you did so to acquaint you with the account of the summons which Nervus issued in connection with Tucillus Nominatus. Nominatus was escorted in and spoke on his own behalf, with no one indicting him, for the ambassadors for the Visitia normally refrained from charging him, but even lent him their support. The gist of his defense was that it was not his good faith as advocate which had been found wanting, but his resolve. He had come to court intending to plead, and he had even been seen in the Senate. But then he had become fervent conversation with friends and had retired, for he had been one not to offer such dark opposition to the aspirations of a senator who was not betting not for the market, but for his influence, repute, and dignity, especially in the Senate. Otherwise, they said, Nominatus would incur greater odium that he had on the earlier occasion. As he left the chamber, he was applauded, but only by a few. He reinforced his words with pleas and tears. Indeed, throughout his whole speech, this practiced performer made sure that he appeared to be beginning to be let off rather than to be defending himself. For this approach was both more conciliatory and suffer. On the proposal of the consul de Senate, Afranius Dexter, he was acquitted. The gist of Dexter's statement was that Nominatus would have been better advised to have continued in support of the Vicentians case with the same courage with which he had undertaken it. However, since the type of guilt he had incurred had involved no deceit, and it was established that he had committed no act deserving of punishment, he should be acquitted on condition that he restored to the Vicentians the money which he had received. The proposal won universal agreement, with the exception of Fabius Aper. He proposed that Nominatus be barred from advocacy for 5 years, and though he is not of authority to take no one in support, he stood resolutely by his proposal, and by ceding the law on senatorial procedure, he compelled Dexter, who had made the initial proposal to the contrary, to swear that his motion was in the interest of the Senate. Though this demand was in harmony with the law, some members railed against it, while he seemed to be censuring Dexter for a proposal which was carrying favor. But before the votes could be declared, Nigrinus, a plebeian tribune, read out an eloquent and important document, in which he complained that the provision of advocacy was for sale, as also was collusion between prosecution and defense, that there were cooperation over lawsuits, and that it was accounted fame to lay down large and fixed financial returns from the spoils of citizens. He read out sections of the laws, reminded senators of senatorial decrees, and finally said that they should plead with the best of emperors to apply a remedy himself to these great evils, because the laws and senatorial decrees were being floated. A few days elapsed, and then a document came from the emperor, which was austere but couched temperately. You will be able to read it, for it is in the public records. How pleased I am that in the matter of lawsuits I have always stayed clear of not merely agreements, gifts, and services, but also of honorable presents. True, one should avoid these honorable practices, not because they are illegal, but because they are shameful, but it is none the less satisfying to observe a public veto on what one has never allowed oneself to do. Perhaps, on other undoubtedly, I shall win less praise and less public recognition for my own observance, once all will perform out of necessity what I was accustomed to do voluntarily. Meanwhile, I enjoy the pleasant sensation of some keep labeling me a prophet, while others in sport and joking claim that an embargo has been placed on my plunder and my greed. Farewell.